Bring your A game. Mr. Chapter 3. Elise had a rough guess in mind. This man is probably Alexander, the eldest son of the Griffith family. Before she could speak, though, the man continued, "Open your eyes and see whose room this is." Elise was startled. Only then did she notice by the faint moonlight that this didn't seem to be her room. "No wonder I felt different from when I was sleeping earlier. I've actually gotten into the wrong room." She got up from bed and apologized in embarrassment. I am sorry. I got into the wrong room. I didn't mean it." "Get out," replied the man in a deep voice. And Elise left in embarrassment. The next day, Elise was still feeling sleepy when she went downstairs and heard Danny say with a smile, "That woman is ugly. Alexander, I heard from the servants that she entered your room last night. She didn't scare the hell out of you, did she?" Elise frowned at Danny's words. As she had expected, the man she met last night was Alexander. Alexander didn't say a word. Ugly? He pondered. He didn't get to see Elise's face clearly last night with the lights off. But he vaguely remembered the flawless fair skin of the woman who wore a nightgown with her hair hanging down loosely. As they spoke, Alexander noticed Elise coming down the stairs. Even though she had changed her clothes, her skin was as black as charcoal, and the moles on her face made her look as ugly as sin. He pursed his lips, thinking his eyes must have deceived him last night. Elise also looked at Alexander, who looked impeccably perfect in his black suit. His features were so delicate as though they had been elaborately carved by God himself, and he gave off a powerful aura that made him look awe-inspiring. She heard him say in an attractively husky voice, "I am off to my office." With that, he left without taking another glance at her. Danny shot a glance at Elise before mocking. "No wonder you acted ordinary in front of the four of us yesterday. Turns out you were hitting on Alexander. TSK. I didn't expect you to be such a hard one to read." Elise's lips twitched when she heard this. "All I did was enter the wrong room. How does that make me such a person?" she thought. However, rather than explaining herself, she seated herself in the dining room and ate breakfast on her own. Exasperated at being ignored, Danny walked up to her. "I am telling you, Elise, Alexander will never like you. He has someone he likes. So you'd better stop dreaming." Why don't you hit on me instead? If you please me enough, I may let you stay a few days longer in the Griffith residence." Elise shot Danny an impassive glance with a frown of disgust. You Ray still a boy." Danny was the youngest in the Griffith family. Currently, he was only 18 years old, whereas Elise was already 19. Danny flew into a rage upon hearing Elise's words. "How dare you spurn me? Don't you ever fall in love with me? I am telling you, I'll kill myself right away if you choose to get engaged to me." Matthew, who was seated beside the two, looked at them without saying a word. Then, he glanced at Elise as she was having breakfast. She is from the countryside, yet she conducts herself with grace and has the air of a lady from a rich family. Could this be an illusion? Jonah had already had everything arranged for Elise before her arrival. In public, she would be 18 years old, the age of a high school senior, just like Danny. "Don't tell anyone that we know each other when we get to school, you ugly monster." Elise threw Danny a disdainful glance. She got into Matthew's car after breakfast. Like Alexander, Matthew wasn't much of a talker, so she couldn't help asking, "Why not let the chauffeur take Danny and I together? He and I are going to the same school. Why would Matthew be the one escorting me?" Matthew looked helpless upon hearing her question. "Grandpa wants us to bond with you. So the five of us will take turns to take you to and from school from Monday to Friday and spend time with you on weekends. It should be been Alexander who would take you to school this morning, but he has a meeting in the morning, so I took his place instead." The 5 Griffith siblings objected to the suggestion in the first place. None of them was willing to take Elise, the country bumpkin, to and from school on weekdays, not to mention hang out with her on weekends. However, this was Jonah's suggestion, so no one could turn it down. Upon hearing this, Elise realized how unwilling the 5 Griffith siblings were to get engaged to her. It's not like I am willing either. Thanks for listening to the Bravonovel audiobook. Welcome to download the Bravonovel app. Read the novel, bring your A game. Mr. Online and get the latest updates.